I'm 25M, and my girlfriend Sarah, 24F, and I've been together for a year. We met through a dating app, bonded over coffee dates talking about books we both liked, and dumb travel stories from trips we'd taken alone. And things progressed with movie nights at my place or weekend walks in the park where we'd grab ice cream and just hang out. Early on, she insisted on taking it slow physically, saying she wanted to build an emotional connection first after some bad past relationships where things moved too fast and crashed. So we waited 4 months for any intimacy, focusing on getting to know each other with stuff like sharing playlists, late night calls about our days, and even cooking simple meals together. It felt right at the time like we were doing something meaningful. And since then, we've grown close, meeting each other's families over casual dinners, planning a road trip for next month, and talking about moving in together once my lease is up. But yesterday, a mutual friend sent me an old text screenshot from around our second month, where Sarah admitted to sleeping with someone else, a guy from her past, right after our first date, while telling me we needed to wait because rushing wasn't her style anymore. The message said she felt guilty, but justified it because we weren't exclusive yet, though she made me wait all those months to do things right and build something real. It hit like a punch, especially since she's always preached honesty in our talks, like when we discuss our exes openly. I haven't confronted her yet, but it's eating me up, replaying our early conversations where she'd say waiting made us stronger and more committed. My roommate thinks I should talk it out before jumping to conclusions, but the trust feels shattered, like everything was built on a lie. Reddit, what do I do when my girlfriend slept with someone else early in our relationship while making me wait months for intimacy? Because we were taking it slow, and I just found out after a year, leaving me questioning if I could trust her, confront her straight up and on the spot, or try to understand if there's any excuse that makes sense. Update 1. I was still processing the text screenshot from our mutual friend showing Sarah admitting to sleeping with an ex early on around her second date, while enforcing a slow pace that made me wait months for intimacy with talks about building trust first, and even specific lines like how she didn't want to repeat mistakes from her last breakup, which now felt hypocritical after a year of what I thought was a solid relationship. That evening, after pacing our apartment all day and barely focusing at work, I confronted her over dinner, leading to tears and explanations that left me more confused but not ready to walk away yet, though it dragged on late into the night. We were eating pasta she'd made, our usual midweek routine with some music on in the background, when I showed her the screenshot, asking why she'd hooked up with her ex that weekend while telling me the next day over coffee that we should take things slow to avoid rushing like her past mistakes and really get to know each other. She broke down right away, admitting it happened, but explaining it was a one-time thing after a fight we'd had. Our first disagreement over me canceling plans last minute, and she thought we were done when I didn't text for a few days. So she reached out to her ex for comfort, regretting it immediately and blocking him after. I pushed back, pointing out how she'd made me wait months, with specific moments like turning down advances on our third date, saying she needed emotional security first, or even on our 1-month mark when she said waiting would make it special, and asked if the double standard meant she didn't respect me or see me as serious. She insisted the wait was her way of committing fully after that slip, that her ex was a rebound from feeling rejected and hurt, and she hadn't mentioned it to avoid hurting me since we weren't official yet, and she wanted a fresh start. We talked for hours, me sharing how it made our whole foundation feel like a lie, especially with plans like our upcoming road trip or meeting my parents again, and her apologizing profusely, promising no more secrets, and even offering her phone checked. The next day, head foggy from lack of sleep and zoning out during meetings, I confided in my sister who said, give her a chance if it seems genuine and not a pattern, but doubts linger with every loving text she sends, making me second guess everything. Should I dig for more proof like asking the mutual friend for context or start couple therapy to unpack this before it festers? Update 2. The dinner confrontation where I showed Sarah the screenshot of her admitting the early hookup with her ex, detailing how it happened right after our first date, while she made me wait months for intimacy, citing the need to take it slow for a real connection, and even adding in chats that it would prevent heartbreak like her previous ones, led to her tearful regrets and claims it was a mistake during what she saw as a breakup, but left me reeling as we navigated awkward days with short conversations and me crashing on the couch. A week later, still tense with me overthinking every interaction like her good morning texts, I suggested we timeline everything out on paper, and her full story emerged in a long park walk talk that revealed deeper layers, shifting my perspective as we went back and forth for a couple hours. We went for a walk in the park like we used to early on, just to get out of the apartment, and she opened up more, explaining the break she thought happened after that early fight over my flaky communication. I'd been dealing with a family emergency where my dad got sick, and I went radio silent for a week without explaining, making her assume I'd ghosted like guys before who bailed after one argument. So in her hurt and confusion, She met her ex for drinks that turned physical, but cut him off. The next day when I reached out apologizing and we picked back up, the irony stung. She enforced the slow pace afterward because the hookup reminded her of past rushed relationships ending in heartbreak, like one where intimacy led to quick abandonment after a month, or another where it masked red flags. So she wanted ours to be different, building trust through dates, talks, and even those playlists we shared before getting physical. I shared timelines from my side, like texts showing I hadn't meant to disappear and was just overwhelmed with hospital visits, and admitted my poor communication played a role in the mix-up, while she showed old messages to her friend, venting regret right after and deciding to commit fully to me without bringing up the drama. It built suspense as we waited for a therapy session I'd booked, where the counselor helped us see how unspoken assumptions snowballed into this mess. And Sarah admitted hiding it from fear it'd ruin us early on, especially since she was already falling for me. Friends checked in with calls, one joking the slow burn ironically saved us by forcing real talks before things got too deep. But can we move past the secrecy and mismatched timelines, or is the foundation too cracked to hold up long term? Update 3. The park walk where Sarah detailed the break, misunderstanding, thinking I'd ghosted after our fight over plans, leading to her regretful hookup with her ex while later making me wait months for intimacy to ensure we were serious. Influenced by her history of bad relationships like the one that ended after a rushed vacation, came after the screenshot confrontation and tense days, prompting us to seek help and rebuild step by step with more effort than before. Over the following months, we focused on therapy and small gestures, turning the hurt into a deeper understanding that actually made us closer. We attended weekly couple sessions in a basic office downtown, exploring her fears from past heartbreaks where rushing physically led to pain and quick bailouts, and my feelings of betrayal from the hidden truth with exercises like writing letters about unmet needs or even role-playing better communication that helped us get on the same page, like me explaining my silence during the family crisis without holding back. Sarah made efforts to show transparency, sharing her phone freely, planning open dates where we discussed boundaries over coffee, and even setting up a shared calendar to avoid miscommunications like that early one. The irony faded as we laughed about how her slow rule, born from that mistake, actually built the emotional base we needed to handle this. And we grew closer through things like joint journaling about our days or revisiting our first date spot to create new memories without the old doubts hanging over. Mutual friends supported us, hosting a low-key gathering where the screenshot sender apologized for stirring drama without full context and even shared his own relationship mishap story. And we got engaged during a weekend trip we planned, symbolizing our commitment with rings we picked together after talking it through. The ordeal strengthened our trust, with Sarah feeling safer opening up about her insecurities and me valuing her vulnerability more, leading to plans for moving in and starting a family down the line. Our relationship more resilient for having faced the doubts head on and come out the other side talking better than ever.